Are you distracted? I don't know anyone in today's world who's not at least a little bit distracted a lot of the time. Hi, I'm Kim Marie. Welcome to the channel. This is a channel so much about women's empowerment and how we can really attune to our true nature and become more of who we are here to be. And today I want to talk about distraction, okay? But I'm going to talk about it from some unique angles here. On the one hand, we have this really insidious distraction that I think is rarely talked about. And on the other hand, there are actually ways in which distraction might be a good thing. And those are the two angles I want to come at this from. First of all, the insidious nature of it, okay? We have all kinds of systems, the educational system, the political system, our religions, our healthcare system, our philosophies and causes and all of these kinds of things that are there and often crumbling, not working anymore. We're seeing that these things are falling apart. Our economic system, a lot of things are really being asked to be reevaluated, reconsidered, reconstructed, okay? But here's the thing. If we want new results, many of us think take new actions, do something different, right? But there's a whole other step, and that is to step back to being a different observer, right? We cannot take new action if we are not looking at things from an entirely new perspective. And what we all have to realize is that we are living in a patriarchal dominance culture. So all of those systems, all of these ways in which we exist today have been created out of that perspective. And the only way we're going to be able to create new systems is by looking at things from a new perspective. But here's the thing. We get distracted by championing, feminism or anti-racism or new education systems or political reform or whatever it is. And I'm not saying there's not good in looking at the problems within our systems. But we have to look back and say, how did we get here in the first place? We got here through this incredible patriarchal dominance culture. If we had a healthy balance of masculine and feminine in our culture, we would never be burning women at the stake. We would never be murdering people on the basis of religion. We would never be enslaving people and taking their lives away from them. We would never be dominating resources of the earth or anything else. That is not what a healthy, balanced, harmonious nature would do. And we've got to step back and start looking at the laws of nature and how we operate and what our true nature is, stepping into our true nature, stepping back to that true observer that we have the ability to be so we can take new actions and then ultimately get new results. But we get distracted by championing these causes and not stepping further back. And we think that we're trying to make change, but actually we're on yet another distraction. Right? And I'm not saying we shouldn't have outrage at, when we see things happening around horrible situations going on, school shootings, the police brutality and the horrible systemic racism that we see and all of that. We need to speak out about that. We need to make a change around that. But it has to come from this deeper place within us that says, how did we get here in the first place? How am I potentially perpetuating that? We've all grown up in this. We've all grown up in this. We have insidious ways in which we keep doing things and we don't even realize that that's what we're doing. I really hesitated to associate myself with women's empowerment or feminism because I did not want to be connected with this idea that we're just going to dominate and control to get our way, which I've seen so much of. Yes, I agree. We need, equal pay for the jobs that we have that are the same as men, and we need to be, looked at as valid and all of those things, and the sexual abuse and all of that that's going on. But today's feminism, a lot of the feminism that has happened out there, yes, there's greatness. Women got the right to vote. And there has been a huge step forward, but we've also had some major setbacks around things like, okay, we're speaking out against the objectification of women, but now young girls are objectifying themselves and they think that's true empowerment. okay? Or we have situations of like, let's do it like the men and prove that we can do all the same things. It's not about trying to compete. True feminine is about collaborating, honoring all. That's why I say we would never be going to war or butchering people or hurting people this way if we were looking at things from this balanced, healthy, feminine, masculine, balanced perspective. Okay, so we've got to step back and say, are we being distracted by these other causes rather than looking at the root cause of what's really going on here? Now, I said I would share another piece of where distraction might actually be a good thing, okay? We are swimming in a sea of status quo that has been going on for so long. This patriarchal dominance culture has been going on for so long. And we're seeing ADHD, ADD, anxiety, depression being so rampant right now, among many other things. And we have to ask ourselves, why? What's a bigger, deeper, maybe more unseen reason to this? Okay? On a human evolutionary perspective, or in the realm of the evolution of human consciousness, why is this happening? And I can't help but think, wow, depression and anxiety, for example, that's a way that we can actually hit rock bottom. We can get to that point where we go, I can't do this anymore. And of course, if we can have the capacity within us to be strong enough to activate our will forces and say, here's how I'm going to change. Here's how I'm going to step in to my true power and shift the way that I'm showing up. Then we can make a massive change. So there's a gift then in that anxiety and depression that takes us to the bottom, that has us saying, enough's enough. I'm tired of this. We have to change, and I need to look at the root cause. I need to go to those depths and see what's really going on, okay? And with things like attention deficit, what if this idea, I mean, of course, all of the social media and millions of things coming at us from all directions, that's not helping. Neurologically speaking, scientifically speaking, there's a lot of very real things going on that are external causes being imprinted on the brain. And again, if we always look that, there's that saying, as above, so below. I like to also consider as within, so without, or as without, so within. So there's this idea of what can be seen and what can't be seen. What can be clearly understood and what needs a little more exploration or diving to the depths. And going to the depths is a very feminine thing. And it's something we have not learned how to do. We're often uncomfortable doing because it in itself is very uncomfortable, okay? So what if, I'm just posing this question, what if the concept of attention deficit, being distracted so easily, is also a way to be distracted from the status quo that we so desperately need to change? This might be in the form of that tap on the shoulder that you get, or that whisper in your ear that's like, this can't be all there is. Or, oh wow, look at that. That's different. I want to go take a look at that. And yet here we are in a job or a situation where we're supposed to be focused. We're supposed to have our attention there. We're supposed to get something accomplished or get something done. But what if that distraction is actually helping us to see that this is not where we belong? It's not how we belong. So we need to learn to discern between that truly soul-inspired distraction that taps us on the shoulder and says, there's another way. And we need to look at the soul-crushing distraction that is happening so insidiously to make us think that we're making a change without actually going deeper. In both cases, we have to go to the depths. We have to go deeper. We have to start looking and get uncomfortable. Healing requires discomfort. It's even if we scrape ourselves, we're going to notice that initially, maybe it's a burn or a big scrape, and it's a little numb, right? At first, we don't think it's that bad, but then it starts to heal, right? And the skin starts to get really tight and maybe itchy, and the scab starts to form, and it stings, and all of these things, and it's very uncomfortable. And the bigger the wound, the more uncomfortable the healing process can be. And we have a massive wound with our patriarchal dominance culture. We've got to start looking at things from a very different perspective. We've got to start honoring the unseen, the invisible realm, the realm in which we're not considering just because it's not in our face. It's very, very easy to champion causes and to look at things and try to transform them from that place, but they will never transform if we don't step back and take a look at things from a new perspective and even allow for healthy distraction that takes us on another course and asks us to go to those depths and step back further. So I would love to hear any examples that you have in the comments of ways in which that you might have gotten distracted and felt yourself, like maybe this isn't such a bad thing. Maybe this was good that I got distracted. Maybe this is, helping me to find a new path, or ways in which maybe you championed a cause. I know many people who championed various religious causes and found that they were actually diminishing themselves in the process, or diminishing others in the process, right? And they have a lot of guilt and shame over that, and they're working through that. And so they realize that, wow, I thought I was helping by bringing truth and preaching, goodness or whatever, and didn't realize how much I was actually dividing and only adding to the problem, because we're coming at it from this patriarchal dominance culture of being right versus wrong, and dominance and competition versus collaboration and connection. Okay, I'd love to hear in the comments. If this has been helpful, please share it with others, and please subscribe. I share regular videos about topics to help us find our true essence and our true nature and our true sense of empowerment as women. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.